Welcome to my deck review of Darkrai Garbodor, a really popular deck that won the Klasinski Open. It's still a really good deck, and people at my league are really getting into this deck. And if you checked my other deck profile on Garchomp Altaria, please check it out. The deck is way better than it was a year ago when it first came out. Well, anyways, I'm sorry for going off topic. Let's focus on Darkrai Garbodor, the deck that won Worlds 2 times in a row. Okay, let's get to the Pokemon of the deck. I run 3 Darkrai. If I had the choice, I would add a 4th Darkrai, but I didn't have enough space. Also, I don't have the other Darkrai. Okay. I run 3 Sableye. I would bump it up to 4, but I don't have enough space. 3 still works really good. I run 2 Trubbish. Two Garbodor. Some people have tried to run 3, but really you only need 2 Garbodor because you have Super Rod and you could junk hunt the Super Rod also and keep getting them back. Now, here, this card is an optional card to add. Most people choose not to run this card. It's Absol. Absol's really good if you're going up against decks that have a heavy bench amount, or if you're going up against an EX blocking deck. Like if you can't get Garbodor set up and your opponent's running something like Latias, EX kind of deck, you got this to turn 2. Does a lot of damage for 2 energy. Now let's get to the supporters of the deck. I run 4 Juniper. You want to run 4 Juniper because without 4 Juniper, you wouldn't be able to discard the dark energy as easily, so you can dark patch. "4N. I run 4N because it keeps you from decking out, and it can kind of help you at the beginning of the game if you have some crucial resources in your hand. Well, that's about it for the supporters. You'll probably understand why I'm only running 8 supporters. I run 3 random receiver. Some people run only 2 random receiver in their deck, but I chose to bump mine up to 3 because it can easily search out for a supporter card, and plus you could junk hunt it with Sableye. So you'd basically never be dead drawing with this deck. It's really consistent because of this card. I run 3 Ultra Ball. Whoops. Sorry. I run 3 Ultra Ball. I would run 4, but unfortunately I couldn't find the space to run it. But it's best to run 4 Ultra Ball. I run 1 Bicycle. Bicycle's a really good card. It kind of helps you. Let's say a supporter, it's like that extra supporter you don't need to pay your supporter with during the turn. Let's say you got a really low hand, you can just bike. You could junk hunt bike back too, so it's... Well, basically, it may look like a sucky card. You draw only got 4, but you could junk hunt this card back. And you can keep reusing it. That's why I run 1 copy of this. I run 4 Catcher. It's pretty standard in every deck. You run 4 Catcher. I run 4 Dark Patch. You want to be able to dark patch on the Darkrai. You want to try to set up a turn 2 Night Spear with this deck at least, because otherwise sometimes your opponent can out set up you. You run 1 Energy Search because this deck only runs 9 energy cards. Because it only runs 9 energy cards, it's kind of harder to get to an energy Plus, if it's in the discard pile, you could junk hunt this back and you can just keep searching out for energy, which is pretty good. One super rod. It's usual to run at least one super rod in every deck so you can keep your Pokemon in circulation. Tool Scrapper. Now, normally you wouldn't have to use Tool Scrapper in the case of Garbodor because you run Garbodor in this deck. You run the Tool Scrapper just in case of Eviolite or if you're going up against a Genesect deck with G-Booster or something like that. For the tool cards, I run 3 Floatstone. I would run 4 Floatstone, but I couldn't find the space. And I run 2 Darkrai for the Darkrai. Now, I probably would have had the option to add EXP Share or Eviolite, but I found that doing 20 more damage plus Laser is really good. I run 2 Enhanced Hammer. It works really good against Plasma matchups. I mean by if you're going up, let's say like you go first turn and you go second, you can knock away their special energy they've Colress machined or whatever onto them. Or it's good in the late game, you can keep junk hunting these hammers, keep continuing to knock away their special energy. It's really good against Plasma. I run 3 Laser. Now, I don't run 4 because I couldn't find enough space, but sometimes if you can't get the Garbodor set up, then Laser is not going to be very good against the Virizion deck. It's kind of hard to get it to work against that. I run 2 Verbank City Gem. You want to be able to get a Verbank out in play. So you can do poison damage for up to the max. I run 1 Switch because the Switch card can get you out of certain situations, like if you get poisoned or if you get trapped by Snorlax or something like that. This card will automatically get you out. My A-Spec for this deck is Dowsing Machine because it can get back your supporters and it can potentially get you back Dark Patch. You could just, let's say like you discard 2 cards. It can be like you discard Dark using this card as the effect. You get the Dark Patch in your discard pile, then you Dark Patch the Dark Energy you just put in there. This card is that good. You could do so many different things. You could bring back stadium cards, potentially bring back a Juniper or an N, or just bring back a quick catcher or a quick laser to win the game. Now, my energy for the rest of the deck, it's 9 dark. It's 9 dark. Yeah. So that's basically the deck in a nutshell. I hope you watch my Garchomp Altaria deck profile. My deck profile is a pretty unique deck. It got 3-1 before at a tournament, my Garchomp deck. I've tried Darkrai Garbodor and it was kind of hard for me to figure out which A-Spec worked best and what trainers worked best in this deck until I made this build, and so far it's been very consistent. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and yeah.